Hello everyone. This lesson is not about grammar, but about how to write a paragraph in English. This is the method, hamburger paragraph writing, that we are going to discuss today. But although the hamburger in the picture is very mouth-watering, but remember today we are not here for eating, but writing. So what would you write if you were given this picture? You see a young girl who is apparently in a bad mood. She may be sad, she may be frustrated, she may even be depressed. Okay, think about it. What would you write? And here is an example of how we might write about feelings or a person's life in a day. And you can see in the middle of the screen there is the hamburger. The dish hamburger has some words and sentences on it. And actually, this hamburger represents how we can make sure we write uh, different parts of a paragraph correctly in an organized way. So let's take a look of the first sentence. That is, I had a horrible sick day. And here you see two arrows. The yellow arrow is from the sentence, I had a horrible sick day, to the table on your left-hand side. And that is the first piece of bread. And usually when we write a paragraph, we try to outline or highlight the main idea of the particular paragraph. And on your right-hand side, you see a green arrow that is from a picture. And in that picture, there is a woman who is sneezing. So for the following sentences or for the following parts of this hamburger, we will have these similar sets of arrows. So sentence number two, I couldn't eat my favorite foods. And you can see on your right-hand side, it is a sad man who faces a hamburger, but he seems unable to eat it. And on the other hand, on your left-hand side, you see in the table, it writes vegetables and detail one. So the reason why vegetables is there is because right in the middle, you see that it represents the second layer of the hamburger. There should be some kind of cabbages, some kind of healthy ingredients. That's why it is vegetables. As for detail one, you see that after the first sentence of this paragraph, um, the writer or the sick person should give more idea or more information about his or her experience on that day. So it is detail one. And then the other sentences follow. And you can draw the arrows on your right hand side to connect the picture with the sentences in the middle of your worksheet. So for junior secondary students, it is quite common that you're asked to write different types of test types. And here are the four most common types. And the first one is a story. The examples can be a blog, a day of a fictional character, etc. The second type is a speech. So usually when you give a speech, it could be your self-introduction, it could be an introduction to a student activity, etc. And the third type, okay, would be a letter. Of course, you may write to your friend, okay, or you may uh, write a letter to the editor of a magazine or of a newspaper. And when you grow up, when you graduate, okay, when you become a worker, you may also write letters because of your work or because of some business. And lastly, there is an article. Articles are quite common once you become a secondary students. So maybe you will be asked to write your ideas or your comments on school life, or maybe on some popular trends, etc. We are now in the part of what do you write to start a speech. And the first part is Dear Principal, Vice Principal, teachers, and fellow schoolmates. And these words belong to greetings. And that is the first piece of bread of a hamburger. The following sentences Good morning, I am Mr. Wong. These two sentences are green in color and they are actually part of self introduction. So they are green and they kind of reminds readers of vegetables, maybe cabbage, okay, in a hamburger. And the next one, today I would like to talk about my life with pets. And these red words may remind you of the tomato in a hamburger. And the next one, I keep three dogs at home. Three dogs at home. You can see that the arrow from this white sentence points to the part of beef. The reason why these words are in white in color but not brown in color is that if these words were brown in color, it would be very hard for the audience or for you to take a look of them or to understand them easily, clearly. And next one, they are a corgi, a golden retriever, and a dimension. So this sentence, yellow in color, you may say it looks like a mustard. And last one, I call them Pip, Ben, and Tim. So the last sentence, it is the ending sentence. Therefore, it represents the second piece of bread of a hamburger. So that's how you can apply the concept of hamburger paragraph writing when you write a paragraph. This page is about a story, and similarly, you can see there are one, two, three, four, five. Okay, there are five parts, and of course, you can see the first piece of bread and the second piece of bread. So the remaining three sentences are separately red, green, and yellow in color. I believe you can understand them quite easily, and but do not be confused. It is only the first paragraph of a story. It is only the first paragraph of a story. So how about a letter? So you can see at the very beginning, dear Natalie, how are things going? So this is the part of saying hello to the receiver or to the recipient of the letter. And next one, it has been more than 2 years since you left for Australia. So this simple sentence tells the relationship between the sender and the recipient. Next one, I hope you have a stable life in these hard times. So this time here you see it is not yellow, but a bit orange in color. Okay, this sentence, it might be a bit easier for you to read. Okay, and then the last sentence, I want to tell you about my life since the outbreak of COVID-19 virus, especially my family and school life. I would like to have your advice on my studies as well. So the ending sentence here, okay, it is a bit long, and actually, it is not a sentence to conclude the whole paragraph. Rather, it is a sentence to tell the recipient why the sender or why the writer wants to communicate with this letter. So you see, it depends. Sometimes the first paragraph can be complicated and it can be divided into five parts or more. But here in this paragraph of a letter, you see there are only four parts. What do you write to start an article? So if you read on, you can find this paragraph is about some very updated and concerning issue, and that is whether we should, okay, whether people should keep on putting a mask every day. So the first sentence is, it has almost been a year since people started wearing a mask when they are out every day. So this sentence is the first piece of bread, one burger, and you can tell it is the background of this essay or of this argumentative writing. And the second part, most people understand it will not only protect the general public, but also the nurses and doctors. This red sentence is about the effect of putting on a mask, not just individuals, okay, but members of the community. And then the sentence in green, still, some might miss the days when everyone could freely breathe, speak, eat without anything on their face. It is a different opinion, but it is quite understandable because okay, nobody would like to keep wearing a mask every day for the rest of their life. So the last sentence, towards 2021, why should people keep wearing a mask even when the spread of COVID-19 virus is gradually controlled? And it should be regarded as the second piece of bread, as well as the ending sentence of this paragraph. So I've just gone through review all some of the first paragraphs of the four test types. And you should be able to find out in your worksheets there are only two parts, part A and part B. For part A, you should have already drawn the arrows, so it should be fine. And as for part B, you are going to read the first paragraphs of these four test types again and decide which one, okay, which paragraph or which piece of writing you would like to continue with. But before you start, there are still some tips I would like to share with you. Okay, on this picture, on this screen here, you can see um, three stages when you prepare a piece of writing. And the first one is vocabulary. You should find out the suitable English words to express your ideas because it is a way to know more new words by yourself. So that means whenever you have to write or you are writing, okay, don't just rely on what the teacher tells you because each person or each student should have a different mind, should have a different idea. Okay, next one, paragraph. Make sure the number of main ideas you're going to write in your writing. And it also means, okay, don't forget the paragraphs of introduction and ending. Maybe some students can still be a bit careless about this. That is, for example, when you write a letter, you should keep in mind that the first paragraph and the last paragraph, uh, they are not part of the body. So in the first paragraph, you have the purpose of writing a certain letter, okay? Or whenever you write a reply email, you have to write very clearly uh, what you want to reply to or who do you want to reply to, and then the body that is maybe the second paragraph, the third paragraph, the fourth, the fifth, or even the sixth paragraph. Okay, these are all the main points you want to convey in your letter. But the last one should be a closing in a letter. Okay, and then the last part, content. In your draft, try to write every sentence in every paragraph roughly. It helps you check if your ideas are clear. Quite a number of students, whenever they are asked to write an outline, they might think it is more or less the same as drawing some brainstorming graphs. However, it is different. When you draw some brainstorming graphs, you only need to write down the keywords. That is true. But when you write an outline, or maybe even you write a draft, you should try your best to put your meanings into um, an abundant amount or an abundant number of words. The reason is while the teacher would not ask you to write the full sentences in a draft, you should also make sure that um, let's say if you should have okay more than 10 words for a certain sentence or for a certain question, but you want to save time when you prepare yourself for the writing. Okay, when you write the draft, you may include only okay maybe 6 words, okay, up to 8 words, okay, to more or less represents the same meaning. That's what I mean by roughly. So it will help you to see if all the sentences are complete in meaning. Okay, if the sentences are complete in meaning, then the paragraph should also be complete in meaning. If the paragraphs are also complete in meaning, then the whole piece of writing should be fine. So as for learning vocabulary items, I have a website to recommend to you, and that is the dictionary, the online dictionary from Hong Kong Yahoo. So with your smartphone, you only need to input these 3 keywords, that is Yahoo, HK, and dictionary. That should be good enough to bring you to the website described on this slide. And why I think this is recommendable is because, okay, you see there are English and Chinese meanings, and you can see the IPA here. And you can also learn about the words with opposite meanings, okay, as well as related words. And here is just a picture, it's just a screenshot. But in actual browsing, you can see quite a lot of examples, at least 4 or 3 examples, okay, to tell the readers how to use the verb concede. So please do bear this website in mind. So next part, how many paragraphs should you write for a speech? So like I just told you, um, you should expect more paragraphs to write when you write a speech because the introduction and the closing cannot be skipped. And here you see there are totally 6 paragraphs. The first one is introduction, okay, and then the second one is from Japan to Hong Kong, okay, blah blah blah, okay. Now I will go through with you how these paragraphs look like in more details. Okay, number one, introduction. Good morning, principal, vice principals, teachers, and fellow students. I would like to introduce to you an exchange program with a school in Japan. So here is the sentences to conclude the content of the first paragraph of the speech. It is not the original text of the first paragraph. Okay, so that means you can expand your first paragraph. Okay, if you want to write, um, if you want to write a speech. Okay, as the homework for this lesson. Okay, you may consider starting from these words here. The second paragraph, from Japan to Hong Kong. First, two Japanese students will come and study with us for a school term. They will contact an agent and look for host families for them. So this part, it is about the details of the exchange program. So when we talk about exchange students, actually it should be a two-way program. So here, luckily, uh, in this context, we may have foreign students, actually Japanese students, okay, to come to learn with the rest of the Hong Kong students here. And then number three, at the same time, um, there will be some students, at least two students to be sent to Japan to learn for half a year. But of course, there are some requirements to meet. So at least you should be able to talk in simple Japanese, right? And then how to be an exchange student. So this part is about the requirements. Maybe the applicant should already be quite good in his or her academic results, okay, so that the school have some confidence that that student might still be able to catch up with the rest when he or she comes back from Japan half a year later. And then number five, though not everyone can go to Japan, the rest of us can be buddies of the Japanese exchange students. I hope all of you will welcome them on the first day. So this part, the fifth part or the fifth paragraph, it is more important, to students who have no interest or who might not have the ability, to join the program. And with some students, from Japan coming, that means, sooner or later, every student in this school, every local student, will learn from the Japanese students, more or less in one way or another. So here the message, of this fifth paragraph is that uh, the teacher hopes all the students will enjoy, their moment with the exchange students from Japan. Number six, the deadline of application is next Friday. I look forward to the program as much as you do. Interested students, please come to me for more details. So obviously, it is the last part of the speech, the last paragraph. And usually, when we write or talk about the last part, should be a conclusion, there are still some very important information in this paragraph, but there should be some message to be delivered. For example, here the teacher said or the teacher emphasized, actually, as a teacher, he or she, wants to see student, uh, having fun or student learning from this program. So the above, several slides explain why, when you give a speech, when you prepare a speech, you should have, a number of paragraphs, three paragraphs, that would not be enough, because if you only have three paragraphs in a speech, the result could be, quite a number of the audience do not understand you quite well, and they would have some confusion, okay, afterwards. They may have to come to you for some clarification. And the other reason is that, okay, it will make your pacing, okay, it will make your time management easier, okay. Imagine if you were a speaker, okay, and then you have a watch, okay, to count down the time for you, okay, you will be more confident about controlling, okay, how long your speech would be, okay. If you divide your speech in several parts, okay, or in several paragraphs. So the last preparation tips for you is you should double check your ideas in your draft or in your outline. Okay, but also here on the worksheet, part B, after you complete the sentences in the second paragraph, I also ask that you color the sentences according to the structure of the hamburger paragraph writing, just like what you have been seeing or you have been looking at in this lesson, okay? Or just like okay, the slide right in front of you, okay? You see the second paragraph, okay? That is a body, okay? Different sentences are painted with different colors, okay? I hope you can color or paint your work, okay, before you hand it in. Okay, and your worksheet, okay, part B should look like this, okay, and you see that for each sentence, three lines are given, okay, so that means for every three lines, you should use a different color pencil, okay, to show that it is the different parts, okay, of a hamburger, okay. So this is the final slide, okay, for this lesson, and these are my final words. And do remember that, okay, this time for part B, you are going to finish it, okay, in your own time, okay. How much time you work on it, okay, will not matter. So writing in paragraphs looks difficult at the beginning, but it is an unescapable step when you learn any language, including Chinese language. The idea of hamburger paragraph writing only helps you write at least three sentences in a paragraph every time you write a story or when you write formally. You are the writer, so you can decide what is in each paragraph and how many paragraphs there are in your work. I hope whenever you order or eat an hamburger, you can remember it, okay, as a way to help you write in an organized and clear way. So that's all for my teaching today, okay? Thank you very much.